So officially, Big Games has updated to the part 2 of Squid Games. There are 2 ways to win Titanics. Obviously, we have the event, which you're able to basically go and compete inside of the Squid Games, but there is also a different event, which includes something familiar that we all know from November, the Combine-O-Matic. Now, today I'll be showing you guys how to get additional luck and better ways to get some of these stat pets before this counter goes down. Now, as you know, last year, once this reaches a certain number, this number will drastically go down. Takes about an hour or 2 for it to actually just completely go and break the game, and everybody's going to be selling their pets. Everybody's going to be going crazy. Granted, this is a really good way to make some gems during this event, and obviously major profit for everybody who doesn't really care about the Titanic jellyfish. But because this is a brand new event, you have 2 options. You can choose to combine the pets that you want to go ahead and try to attempt to make, or you can actually go ahead and sell the pets that you get from this for crazy profit. Now, if you guys did play the update during Thanksgiving, you'll understand how this whole thing works, so I probably don't need to explain it. Right, so it looks like in order to make a guard Hydra, you do need to have 20 guard bunnies. Obviously, this kind of reminds me of the thing that you need to go ahead and utilize over here. There we go. So we have the pet game cards. I felt like there was going to be a boost system. I would highly recommend, before you even remotely start combining anything, is to upgrade this ASAP. Obviously, you can reduce it down to 10 pets per upgrade once you have it maxed out. Once everything is maxed out, this should only cost you 10 pets, if that. But this is really important, so we're gonna have to look at the pet saving one, which is the main one that we need to focus on today. But while we're here, this is a really good time to go ahead and explain how you're able to get the maximum amount of luck during this event. So just out of sheer curiosity, I am going to be going through the Forever Pack because you can get the guard from here, so I can just go ahead and test this out for everybody. Oh, there's a hoverboard in here. I think this was from the last update, and there's some boost tokens which can help for the next part of the Titanic. As I mentioned, there are 2 types of Titanics that you can get from this. So let me go ahead and go through this, and we'll go ahead and skip this so you guys don't have to watch me buy a bunch of stuff. Okay, I did not get lucky with this at all, which is okay. It's fine. Okay, so assumingly that you need these upgrades and stuff, we're gonna have to figure out how to basically get more of these later on. I will explain this in a different video, but because I am gonna go ahead and AFK hatch while we're just chilling here for a little bit, we are going to go ahead and basically take a look at this egg. Now, assuming that this egg is comparable to the other egg in the November event, we're probably looking at a very low count for this one specifically. As you can tell, every single pet is going to have a different upgrade on each luck item that you do use. So I wanted to go ahead and hatch some pets to get some better stat pets to go ahead and break things in here. I also really noticed that the super magnet or the book itself is not picking up any of the orbs. So if you do have this and you do notice that it's not picking anything up, yeah, I think it might be bugged. And I think this was bugged from the last part of the event. So I don't know if this is happening to anybody else, but make sure you guys have on potato mode, if anything, if your computer cannot handle it, because I could assume that this might crash a lot of computers. All right, so we have a new stat pet, which can help us out now. So kind of just grinding for a little bit. It looks like I have 28. Now, I guess the biggest question is, how long is it going to take to upgrade stuff? Okay, so obviously you want to go ahead and upgrade your books. This is really important because this is going to help you guys out in the long run. Now, if you want to get an idea of how many books that you do need to use, again, the ps99rep.com/enchant builder area is going to help you out greatly. It's going to let you know what your threshold is for absolutely everything, though I don't see anything on here which indicates the enchant empowerment, so it might be a little confusing to indicate how many books that you end up needing. Obviously, you don't want to do some overkill with your enchants. Obviously, you don't want to go ahead and place more than you need to. For the regular treasure hunter one, the threshold is technically 2, but if you were to add the second one, you'll notice that the amount is now 110 out of 88. And I believe the more that you use, the less effective that it is basically going to be. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and use 1. For the luck books, I am going to be using 2. Obviously, obviously, when you do enchant these, keep in mind that this also applies to your empowered enchants as well. Then you're gonna have 1, 2, 3 for free-to-play players that have free slots here. You have 3 free slots to go ahead and figure out when you want to go ahead and add. For me, I have 8 slots available. So obviously, I'm gonna have 5 slots available for myself to go ahead and figure out what I want to go ahead and add in here, which will help me out. Because I have everything enchanted and ready to go, this is basically what I'm going to be using for my build. To be quite honest, since we are in an event section, it's kind of hard to figure out which books do actually work. When I do my testing, I literally will sit here for hours and maybe even pay attention to basically what books visually work VFX wise. And to be quite honest, when I do use certain books, I actually don't see them actually work in here. And this will include like speed books, the fruity book, and to be quite honest, the treasure hunter book. But because we are in a new event section, it's going to be kind of super hard to actually indicate whether or not this does work or not. But because I want to use this as a placebo, I am going to be using this. And I believe happy pets as well. But because we are here, I am going to go ahead and use explosives. All right, so kind of notice that the pets itself kind of went up in percentage wise, which is great. What else can we use in order to go ahead and increase this? Well, we do have 2 potions. If you guys don't have this potion, which is relatively expensive over time, that's absolutely okay. You can get the lower tier below it and use it in hopes that you can actually go ahead and get the next upgrade. Now, your mastery does need to be high enough in order to basically do this, which needs to be level 90. So that's the only downside of this. So after I use the potion, you'll notice that the number increased as well, which again, this does help over time, especially if you are going to be actively sitting here hatching pets. Another thing that I do tend to use a lot are glitched drives. I usually advocate for these a lot because the percentage rate that it actually increases on. So it increases it by 400%. Now, these are also very expensive. So 168 of them that I currently have is worth 371 million gems. But what is my percentage rate going to be now? Obviously, it did go up a little bit, but it's going to be super hard to indicate like whether or not, if that's going to really help you out in the long run of things. But hey, I gotta do what I gotta do. Another thing is the boost exchange. This is very important. Now, the only downside of this as well is you have to use one or the other. You have the auto boost, which is going to be either used against luck or drops. Now, this is only applicable if you're using 2. Obviously, because I am going to be using it for the luck, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the other one. That way, all of the dollars actually go against this one, and it's not going to be randomized based on those 2. However, this does need to be high enough, and hopefully you guys actually do have it to be high enough. So after activating that, it looks like it went up ever so slightly, and I'm going to be paying attention to these 2 and not so much the axolotl because the percentage hasn't really moved all that much, but these 2 actually did go up, which is really cool. So the major thing is that my 2 luck passes, which is the luck and the ultra lucky, are going to be affecting these numbers drastically. So that is the only other thing, especially if you don't have game passes. The potions, the enchants that are empowered, the boost dollars, the glitch drives, absolutely everything like this is going to help you guys that are free to play out in the long run. Now, obviously, because you guys don't have like auto farm or like auto tap, you do not have a choice to actually go ahead and be inside of the breakable zone unless you are using magnet flags. So that's totally up to you guys if you want to use magnet flags or if you need to use hasty and actually be inside of here while you're breaking things, which, obviously you do need to do at the same time if you want to get boost upgrades in order to go ahead and upgrade your stuff. But like I said, this is a really good time to go ahead and just farm until you get enough upgrades over here to go ahead and use against this before you go ahead and start actually converting your pets. So we also can increase our luck based on this upgrade as well. So let's go ahead and upgrade 1 and see what it changes to. Now, it doesn't show on here, so I'm not sure if it needs to like maybe refresh or kind of like hit a point where it's like, oh, it's going to increase more, or if I've already reached the threshold of upgrades for pets basically by using the upgrades that I just did right now, which includes the potions, the dollars, the speed drive, whatever it may be. But this is basically what I do during these types of events, is take advantage of what you have currently. And then hopefully, of course, like I said, you guys have those two options, whether you want to go ahead and utilize these to go ahead and convert into pets, or if you want to hoard these and wait until you're ready to sell them, which will give you a ton of gems for those, because obviously at the end of the day, you're gonna have people who are going to be hunting these pets down to go ahead and convert to get a Titanic. This is a really good time to pick one or the other. For myself, I already know that I'm not going to be able to get the Titanic, but I am going to be able to profit from this just by hatching the pets and selling them. So it's completely up to you guys whether or not you want to go ahead and do that. Until then, hopefully you guys get some really good luck when it comes to this event, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye everyone!
Okay, bye.
I shouldn't do that.